Lana did not know she was carrying children for her husband's first wife, whom she did not know of. He had married her for that reason alone, and his first wife was in on the plan. Before Maxwell, there was just Lana. She grew up in a small village in Enugu State, the kind of girl mothers pointed at when scolding their own daughters. She was quiet, respectful, and caused no trouble. People trusted her without thinking too hard about it. Whoever married her, the village agreed, would be lucky. Maxwell returned from the city on a Wednesday. He was Madame Stella's son, and he came back with a good car, good clothes, and a simple announcement he was ready to marry. His mother thought of Lana almost immediately. She made the introduction, the family sat together, and things moved from there. Maxwell was patient during the courtship. He did not pressure Lana or give her family any reason to refuse him. She was not swept off her feet, but she liked him well enough. He seemed like someone she could build a life with. They married that same year, and he took her to his flat in Enugu City. Lana adjusted to city life quietly. Maxwell was not unkind, but he was rarely home. He traveled often, sometimes for 2 weeks at a time, and always said it was work. Lana accepted it. She kept the house, cooked, and waited. When she got pregnant with their first child, Maxwell was away for most of it. He came to the hospital when she delivered, stayed 2 days, then left again. His mother came for the 3-month Omugo, helped with the baby, then returned to the village. After that, it was just Lana, the baby, and the quiet flat. She managed. She always did. She did not yet know that the life she was holding together had been built on a lie from the very beginning. The second pregnancy was like the first. Maxwell was mostly away, Lana managed at home, and life continued in the same quiet pattern she had grown used to. She had the baby, a girl this time, and settled back into her routine before the dust could even settle. It was a Tuesday evening when everything changed. Maxwell was in the bathroom. His phone was on the bed and a message came in. Lana was not snooping, she was simply nearby when the screen lit up. She glanced at it the way anyone would. The message was from a contact saved as Kebe, and it said, "I'm tired of waiting. I can't wait to meet our kids." Lana stood still for a moment. Then she put the phone back exactly where it was. She did not confront him that night. She smiled through dinner, put the children to bed, and said nothing. But something had shifted in her, and she could not undo it. Over the following weeks, she paid attention differently. She noticed things she had dismissed before, numbers she didn't recognize, trips that lasted longer than they should. She asked quiet questions to the right people, and eventually, the full picture came together. Maxwell had a wife. Her name was Caroline, and she lived in Abuja. He had married her years before he ever came back to the village, quietly, without telling his mother. His mother had never approved of Caroline because of where she came from, so he kept it hidden and carried on as if the marriage did not exist. Caroline could not have children. They had known this for a while and had looked at their options. Surrogacy existed, yes, but it was expensive and neither of them trusted the process. They did not want a stranger carrying their child. They did not want contracts and clinics and the uncertainty of it all. What they wanted was control. Maxwell wanted a woman he could monitor closely, someone simple, someone who would not question too much, someone who would carry his children and not realize until it was too late that she was never meant to keep them. That was what Lana had been chosen for. When she finally sat Maxwell down and told him what she knew, he did not break down or beg. He denied it, raised his voice, and when she did not back down, he grabbed his keys and walked out. He came back the next morning, expecting to find her in the kitchen. Lana was not there. Lana had gone next door to Amelia. She did not know lawyers or police or how any of that worked in the city. She was a village girl who had spent her years in Enugu inside a flat, raising children and waiting for a husband to come home. Amelia was the one neighbor who had been kind to her since she moved in, the woman who brought food when she had just delivered and checked on her without being asked. Lana showed up at her door that morning with her 2 children and told her everything. Amelia did not hesitate. She sat Lana down, listened to the whole story, and then got to work. She was the one who found the lawyer. She was the one who made the calls, explained the situation, and made sure Lana understood what her rights were. Lana had not even known she had rights worth fighting for. Amelia knew, and she made sure the right people knew too. When Maxwell came back and found the flat empty, he went straight to Amelia's door. He knocked, then he banged, then he stood outside shouting, loud enough for the whole building to hear. He threatened to have Amelia arrested for kidnapping. When nobody opened the door, he left and came back with police officers behind him. By then, Amelia had already called the police herself. The two parties met at the doorstep and the matter was too tangled to settle there. It went to court. Maxwell arrived in court with a strategy. He told the judge that Lana was mentally unstable, that she was an unfit mother who would leave the children crying and just stand there. That her version of events was the imagination of a disturbed woman. He said he was always present at home and that her claims about his absence were proof of how disconnected from reality she was. The lawyer Amelia had found was prepared for all of it. She brought the evidence Lana had gathered. She brought Amelia as a witness. She laid out the timeline clearly, the pregnancies, the absences, the messages, Caroline in Abuja. The picture that formed in that courtroom was not the one Maxwell had painted. The court ruled in Lana's favor. The children stayed with her. Maxwell was arrested. Caroline, the first wife in Abuja, disappeared quietly and did not resurface. Lana went back to the flat, sold what she could, packed what was hers, and left the city the same way she had arrived, with not much, but with her children beside her. She returned to the village and started again from nothing. It was not easy, but her children were with her and that was the only thing that had ever mattered. Maxwell and Caroline had built an entire plan around taking them and the plan had failed. That was enough for her. Some people will go to unthinkable lengths to get what they want, but what is taken through deception rarely stays. And what a mother fights for with truth, very little can take away.